I really don't have regrets. I am a person that says, as soon as you look back in your history and you come up with something that you feel like you want to change.
Living in vans, hunting for the best coupon deals, and shopping for bargain clothes, this is the surprising lifestyle of some of the wealthiest athletes in the United States. Take Kirk Cousins, for instance, who drives an old-school van he bought second-hand, like it's a luxury car. Or Bryce Harper, constantly on the lookout for free burritos. Join us as we uncover the stories of the richest athletes who live like they are broke. Daniel Norris. Daniel Norris, a Major League Baseball superstar, is the kind of millionaire who stands out, not for his wealth, but for his minimalist lifestyle. He chooses to live in a 1978 Volkswagen Westphalia van, which he affectionately named Shaggy. After being drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays in 2011, Daniel Norris's bank account balance had more zeros tacked on the end than he'd ever seen, making him a millionaire overnight.
Daniel Norris is a pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. He's one of the rising stars in Major League Baseball.
Yet Norris, who has always lived by his own code, refused to change his lifestyle simply because of a raise. Once asked by Entertainment and Sports Programming Network why he was cruising in an old van, his response was simple yet profound. Just because money is there doesn't mean you have to have nicer things than you used to have.
He used part of his bonus to buy a VW van, which he has named Shaggy.
His daily routine includes cooking on a camp stove, surfing, and generally living like a cross between a baseball star and a nomadic adventurer. With solar panels on his van and only the bare essentials, Norris has perfected the art of minimalism in a world of excess. During a shopping spree with his teammates, he left with only a $14 discounted t-shirt, while they splurged on high-end gadgets. Norris is passionate about outdoor activities like baseball, camping, paddleboarding, rock climbing, mountain bike riding, kayaking, and backpacking.
It's actually an adventure that begins weeks earlier in an almost 40-year-old van.
He's fully embraced sustainability and freedom, preferring to spend his time outdoors rather than locked in a mansion filled with things he doesn't need. Great stories like this often come from those who dare to challenge societal norms, and Daniel Norris is a perfect example. But if you think his lifestyle is extreme, wait until you hear about a World Wrestling Entertainment superstar whose thriftiness makes Norris look extravagant. Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan with a running knee! The beast is down! The beast is down! Covered by Bryan! Cover!
If Rich but Living Poor had a face, it would be Daniel Bryan. Despite being a $12 million World Wrestling Entertainment superstar, he's the kind of guy who double-checks the price tag before buying anything. While other wrestling superstars flaunt their wealth with flashy cars, extravagant mansions, and luxury lifestyles, Daniel Bryan stands as their polar opposite. Despite being a World Wrestling Entertainment superstar with a net worth of $12 million, he could easily live large, staying in luxurious hotels, driving the latest cars, or owning a private jet. However, Bryan chooses a different path, embracing a humble lifestyle more akin to that of a monk, with a passion for thrift stores and sustainability. While his colleagues are out there enjoying the luxurious life and blowing their millions on their fancies, Bryan is clipping coupons and debating whether or not to buy a second-hand flannel shirt from Goodwill. He lives in a small house that is just big enough for his family and often tries to find new ways to recycle and reuse the things that they have. Ridiculous as this may sound, that's the life of Daniel Bryan. While the world's elite are out there bragging about their sports cars, Bryan is probably talking up his carbon footprint.
And it is 100% genuine future leather. No animals have been harmed to make this belt.
Forget the private jets and penthouses. This guy is more interested in how much energy his eco-friendly home is saving. Perhaps it's because he came from a poor background, and it seems he has never been seduced by the money he earns in world wrestling entertainment. And because being modest just wasn't enough for him, Bryan went ahead and redesigned the World Wrestling Entertainment Championship belt out of hemp and fallen oak. Yes, while his competitors are draped in leather and gold, Bryan introduced the most eco-friendly vegan championship belt the world has ever seen.
It's a wooden belt, correct?
It's partially hemp, it's partially naturally fallen oak.
You might think that being a famous World Wrestling Entertainment star with millions in the bank might make Bryan a little less careful with his money. But no, he treats thriftiness like a sport. He even drives a Prius, probably the least flashy vehicle for a guy who gets slammed through tables for a living. When it comes to shopping, you're more likely to find Bryan digging through the clearance rack than strolling through a high-end boutique. Yet, despite his careful spending, Bryan's habits seem extravagant compared to a basketball legend whose lifestyle makes you question the very essence of wealth. Matt Bonner.
NBA champs! Touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it.
With 2 National Basketball Association championships and a $12 million net worth, you'd think Matt Bonner lives large. But no, he's so frugal, he's like the guy who turns off Wi-Fi to save on electricity. While other National Basketball Association stars spend their off-seasons driving luxury sports cars, hanging out with friends, and staying in luxurious hotels, Bonner is out there comfortably cruising around in a 2006 Pontiac Grand Prix. This car isn't just old, it's practically ancient by National Basketball Association standards. Bonner probably has to check every morning to make sure it's still running. Yet, despite living in a world of Ferraris and private jets and having the means to afford them, Bonner's Grand Prix is a badge of honor, proving that you can take the man out of New Hampshire.
For the rest of my life, every time someone calls me Red Mamba, I'm going to think of Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba.
But you can't take New Hampshire out of the man. Funny, his penny-wise lifestyle doesn't end with his choice of cars. It extends to other areas of life, like his love for cheap pizza deals. He once survived an entire week on a $5 pizza special because apparently bulk calories are cheaper. Forget about splurging on expensive meals. Bonner's idea of a wild night is saving as much as possible on pizza toppings at Domino's. But he doesn't stop there. He's fully committed to minimalism, living in a tiny home. The Red Mamba crammed his entire family into a space smaller than an average National Basketball Association locker room. Clearly, Bonner's not just saving money, he's taking extreme budgeting to levels that would make a penny squeal. While Matt Bonner drives a relic and hunts pizza deals, an American football superstar takes budgeting to unbelievable extremes. Ryan Kerrigan. $13 million and a career in football, but Ryan Kerrigan still lives like he's bargain hunting at the thrift shop. During Ryan Kerrigan's 10-year career with the Washington football team, he was at one point the 3rd highest-paid linebacker in the league. But strangely, he essentially lived like a college student, being extremely prudent with his spending. According to the Washington Post, Kerrigan was too modest. While his National Football League buddies are out popping bottles in nightclubs or buying cars that look like spaceships, Kerrigan is out there shopping at Costco and sharing a 2-bedroom apartment with a childhood friend. That's right, his biggest splurge is buying a lifetime supply of ketchup in bulk.
It's part of an effort to bag hunger for National Hunger Action Month.
Kerrigan's saving habits are legendary among his teammates. While they're dining at upscale restaurants, Ryan is over there grilling up some burgers at home, probably with a bottle of Costco's finest ketchup by his side. And while they are shopping for the latest sports car, he is out there driving a modest Chevy Tahoe. He mostly avoids eating out, and does a lot of his own cooking, which in National Football League circles is practically a superpower. Forget paying for fancy dinners. Why spend $200 on a meal when he can throw together a sandwich at home for $5 or less? His idea of an exciting night is discovering a 2-for-1 sale on laundry detergent. No late nights partying, no alcohol, no fancy dinners. The only thing that gets tackled more than opposing quarterbacks is his grocery bill. His penny-wise habits keep him from wasting money on unnecessary expenses, much like the athlete who would rather buy a soda than splurge on expensive drinks. Prince Amukamara. Imagine signing a multi-million-dollar National Football League contract with a net worth climbing into the tens of millions, yet still walking into a car dealership and haggling like it's the biggest deal of your life. That's the kind of guy Prince Amukamara is. Someone who doesn't let success change his thrifty ways.
Getting that stamp of approval from Justin was huge. It was an awesome night. I mean, guys were just...
Believe it or not, even with a $46 million net worth, he once negotiated his way to a great deal on a pre-owned SUV, as if he weren't already cashing those hefty National Football League paychecks. While other National Football League stars are picking out their next Ferrari, Prince is over here saying, "Is this price negotiable?" and winning. But that's not even the most surprising part. As the frugal king that he is, Prince Amukamara has never even tasted alcohol. While others are popping champagne after games or celebrating with fancy cocktails, Prince is the guy at the party casually sipping on soda. Perhaps he's even wondering if he's saved enough with his Costco membership to buy his next bulk supply of snacks. Known as the Black Tim Tebow for his no-drinking, no-partying lifestyle, Amukamara has managed to steer clear of the reckless spending that often hits National Football League players. And honestly, it worked out pretty well for him. One of the most telling examples of his thriftiness is how he handled his rookie earnings. While most players would rush to a luxury car dealership after signing a multi-million-dollar contract, Prince went a different route. He showed up at a used car lot, cash in hand, and walked out with a bargain SUV, probably feeling pretty proud about his killer deal. And when it comes to dining, Prince keeps things simple and affordable. While his teammates are likely dining at five-star restaurants, Prince is more likely to be found at In-N-Out Burger. The guy with millions in the bank is often seen enjoying a $10 combo meal, and honestly, he probably enjoys it more than a lavish steakhouse dinner. As if that weren't enough of a budget-conscious move, when he does spend, it's on things that truly matter, like the $10,000 he put toward outfitting a Nebraska high school football team with gear.
When we played Colorado here, Alex Henry kicked like a 50-something yard field goal.
Instead of splurging on flashy gold watches or diamond chains, he's choosing to invest in the future of young athletes. By investing in young talent, he demonstrates that financial responsibility matters more to him than luxury. However you see him, he's still ahead of the guy whose idea of celebrating a big win is grabbing something an average person would pick up on their way home from work. Joe Flacco. Earning the title of Most Valuable Player as a National Football League quarterback often comes with immense wealth and the opportunity for luxury living.
First of all, I just want to congratulate all you other nominees and winners here tonight. Such a special group of men.
But for Joe Flacco, luxury is just a word. That's right. The man who had just become one of the highest-paid quarterbacks in the National Football League celebrated with a meal you'd typically grab after a night out with friends at a fast food joint. Flacco stands out as one of those rare multi-millionaires who hasn't let his wealth go to his head or his taste buds. While most athletes in his tax bracket chase after foie gras and lobster thermidor, Joe is perfectly content with a Big Mac. He's been spotted numerous times indulging in fast food, proving that his Super Bowl most valuable player status didn't come with a sudden craving for $500 steaks. Honestly, the way Flacco approaches his McDonald's runs is probably similar to how he reads defenses.
Here comes the blitzer over the middle. Flacco's pass complete. Conklin.
Quick, efficient, and always ending with a satisfying score. What's remarkable is that Joe's love for fast food isn't just an occasional indulgence. It's practically a way of life. His connection with McDonald's is so strong that he even appeared in a commercial for their mighty wings, solidifying his reputation as the king of frugal eating. Beyond his fast food habits, Flacco's overall spending habits are astonishingly low-key. He avoids typical athlete luxuries, no flashy sports cars, no sprawling mansions. Instead, he's known for his down-to-earth, economical lifestyle. He's the type of guy you can imagine clipping coupons or asking the cashier at Walmart for special deals, even though he could buy the whole store. Strange as it sounds, he is not the only athlete living this penny-pinching life. One's chasing coupons, while the others hunting for freebies. Bryce Harper. With a net worth in the hundreds of millions, you'd think one of Major League Baseball's biggest stars would be the most excited about his wealth. But no, Bryce Harper seems way more thrilled about his lifetime supply of free Chipotle burritos. That's right, while other athletes are out there on a spending spree, buying the latest sports cars, mansions, and private jets, Harper's idea of spending money involves burritos. And not just any burritos, but free burritos. Imagine someone signing a $330 million contract and getting excited because they found a coupon for 10% off toothpaste. This isn't just an everyday thing for Harper.
He inked a long deal, and this could be the defining moment.
He is genuinely proud of that Chipotle card. With $100 million in the bank, you could buy all the steak dinners you want. But why bother when Chipotle is ready to throw in guac at no extra charge? Harper is the kind of guy who might keep a spreadsheet detailing how much he's saved on burrito bowls over the years. If his baseball career hadn't panned out, you can't help but wonder if he would have been perfectly happy living off free Chipotle for life and considering it a victory.
You hear a lot of stuff on there as well at times, and I just enjoy it. It's a part of the reason why we play this game.
However, his frugal nature extends far beyond his love for free fast food. When Harper's not on the field or enjoying a burrito bowl, he's living a life that's surprisingly modest for someone with his fortune. Instead of splurging on yachts and custom wardrobes, Harper is focused on simple pleasures. He prefers spending time with his family over flaunting a flashy lifestyle.
He's all about family, and it was crazy because I walked in, I was sitting there, and then Cassidy walked in.
Proving that even though he's one of the highest paid athletes in the world, he still appreciates the little things. Moreover, Harper is the type of person who stocks up on toilet paper in bulk at Costco, even though he could easily afford to have it delivered in gold-plated boxes. It's a mindset that only very few people can comprehend. In a world where athletes are often known for buying mansions, luxury cars, and private jets, Harper stands out with his humble and grounded approach to money. Though he could buy a fleet of luxury vehicles, why do that when he can get a second-hand t-shirt and a few off-brand pairs of sneakers? His penny-wise habits are so well known that his teammates don't show any signs of surprise when he shows up to practice in his beat-up Toyota Corolla, proudly boasting about how he snagged it when it was on sale. Speaking of being economical, you wouldn't want to compare Bryce Harper's lifestyle to that of an athlete who wouldn't mind going old school as long as it works. Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins might have a contract worth $120 million, but that's hardly noticeable when you look at his lifestyle. Unlike many of his peers, who enjoy a flamboyant lifestyle, going on a spending spree for yachts or fancy cars like his National Football League peers, Cousins proudly drives around in a 2000 GMC Savannah van that he purchased from his grandmother for $5,000. Strange as this may sound, it is odd to think that the quarterback star of the Minnesota Vikings, who could afford any luxury vehicle he wants, opts for a van that resembles something that should be used to deliver furniture or some household upholstery, not a van you'd expect a multimillionaire to drive to practice. And Cousins, the van isn't just about nostalgia.
For Kirk Cousins' future. Huge implications here.
Sure.
So the teams I've talked to around the league do expect that Kirk Cousins will be in a new uniform.
He genuinely believes that the van still runs well, so why buy another when you have one working well? Although the van is dented and probably leaks oil like an old lawnmower, Cousins takes pride in it. While other National Football League stars are flaunting their custom Lambos and Ferraris on Instagram, Kirk's van is sitting unobtrusively behind them, showing that quality is not always bought with money. After all, a decades-old van stands as proof that luxury is not always the answer, especially when the owner is more interested in reliability. As a routine, Cousin usually posts about his van on social media, showcasing that his grandma's van was actually his most prized possession. But hold on, Cousin's financially conscious habit doesn't end with his van. He spends his off-seasons living in his parents' basement. That's right, a man worth 9 figures chooses to spend his free time likely helping his parents out. How many National Football League stars can say the same? While most National Football League quarterbacks are relaxing in Caribbean resorts or unwinding in their mansions, Cousins keeps it simple, living like a college student on summer break. Why pay for luxurious vacation home when he can crash at his parents' place for free? Then there is his ridiculous budgeting. This guy tracks every penny. He's so committed to saving money to the point that he stores his expensive suits in plastic bins instead of investing in a proper wardrobe. That's right, plastic bins like the ones used for storing holiday decorations. Cousins isn't just saving money, he's going to extreme lengths to keep it. Cousins is so careful with his cash that he once said, "You never know how long you're going to play, so you've got to save every dollar." It's as if Cousin is bracing for the day his millions will disappear overnight. Speaking of millions, you'd be shocked at how a National Basketball Association star takes frugality to a whole new level when it comes to shopping. Carmelo Anthony. When you think of Carmelo Anthony, it is easy to picture one of the greatest scorers in National Basketball Association history, a legend who spent nearly 2 decades amassing accolades and building a $60 million net worth. He reportedly earns more than $2 million a year, though he has earned much more earlier in his career. Between 2014 and 2018, Anthony signed a 5-year contract with the New York Knicks worth $124 million. What any sane person wouldn't expect, though, is Carmelo meticulously comparing prices at the grocery store or skipping on luxury purchases that he could afford without a second thought. But there he is, the living legend, carefully reviewing his prices and strictly sticking to his list. For a guy who earns as much as he does, one would easily think he would be the type to indulge in golden bathtubs or private islands. Instead, Carmelo takes a more laid-back approach to spending, keeping things surprisingly modest. Sure, he is a fan of wine, but unlike many celebrities, Anthony isn't out there dropping cash on bottles that cost more than some small countries. Instead, his wine collection is all about taste, not showing off.
Of the wine game. The winemaker's been there forever. They the first plants that was grown. This is a nice...
He's the kind of guy who values enjoying a good Merlot with friends more than trying to impress them with a $50,000 million bottle of something no one can even pronounce correctly. When it comes to real estate, Carmelo isn't about buying up entire blocks just to show off. He makes smart investments, but isn't out there turning his properties into over-the-top displays like some athletes who need to flaunt their wealth. Instead, Carmelo keeps his investments practical, ensuring his money works for him rather than pouring it into oversized shopping malls. But it gets better. Carmelo Anthony, a guy who could afford to own a fleet of sports cars, still loves to keep things simple with his everyday purchases. When it comes to simplicity, you wouldn't want to compare his lifestyle to that of another famous basketball player who's all about keeping things minimal, as long as his basic needs are met. Trey Burke. Despite being named National Basketball Player of the Year in 2013 and selected to the National Basketball Association All-Rookie First Team in 2014, Trey Burke's mindset on lifestyle hasn't changed. He still prefers to keep things simple. While many professional athletes are known for indulging in lavish spending, flashy cars, and extravagant homes, Burke stands out for his humble approach to wealth. Compared to some other players, his earnings are relatively modest. His 2020 to 2021 base salary was $3 million, but he was paid only $229,000. Regardless, he still makes considerably more than most basketball fans and certainly has enough to not have to worry about money. Yet despite this, he sets a hard limit on his spending, restricting himself to just $5,000 a month. This keeps him humble and means he lives just like anyone else in middle-class America. Unlike many of his peers who are drawn to ostentatious displays of wealth, Burke values practicality. He's known for avoiding expensive purchases that won't add value to his life.
It's tough because a lot of people don't make it out of Columbus, and I wanted to be different.
For instance, instead of buying expensive designer clothes or high-end accessories, he sticks to more reasonable options. His wardrobe is far from extravagant, with an emphasis on comfort and utility. It's not about keeping up appearances for Trey, it's about making smart choices for his future. Another testament to Burke's financial prudence is his spending habits. While some athletes go on lavish vacations or constantly splurge on the latest gadgets, Burke keeps his lifestyle simple and budget-friendly. He's not into showing off his wealth on social media or buying things just for the sake of having them. Trey understands that maintaining his wealth requires more than just earning money. It requires discipline and foresight. This prudent lifestyle extends to his approach to housing. Instead of splurging on large, lavish homes, Burke has opted for more modest living arrangements. He's not focused on keeping up with the latest real estate trends or buying properties that would unnecessarily drain his resources. For him, a comfortable home that fits his needs is all that matters. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.